All right, everyone. How is everyone doing today? All right, let's see. People are saying they are coming. All right, so let us start today with the third live streaming session. I hope each and every one of you who is attending today's third live streaming session has gained a good amount of information in the previous two live streaming sessions. This particular live streaming session, which is going to be the third live streaming session, is going to be based on education, right? Yesterday we had talked about trading logic, so we would be continuing our psychological series in terms of providing you with more vital and much more vital information that is required for having success in the financial markets, correct? So how many of you are ready for today's third live streaming session? Write down in the comment box and let me know how many of you are excited, how many of you are prepared to learn for today's third live stream session. Write down in the comment box and do let me know. All right, so let us start first and foremost by checking on those people who had attended yesterday's live streaming session. For those of you who have attended yesterday's live streaming session, how many of you have finished the assignment that I had asked, right? How many of you have finished the assignment that I had asked? Do let me know. So people are saying, yes, Harsh, we have done the assignment. Come on, everyone who has done yesterday's assignment, the assignment that I had provided to you, I want to know how many of you have done the assignment. If yes, write down in the chat box and let me know. All right, I hope everyone has done their assignment. For those of you who have done their assignments, good job, right? Very well done to all of those who have done their assignment. What about those who have not done their assignments? Well, that is very bad. You need to do the assignments. Like I said, the assignments are going to be for you, right? We were talking about how to reflect on your formula for a happy life. We had talked about listening to the session again and again because it is very vital for you to understand and gain knowledge by repeating the video so that you can learn every time you rewatch the video and look into the mirror and adjusting your mindset. So this had been the assignment which had been provided yesterday. For those of you who have done it, very good job. And for those of you who did not do it, that is not acceptable, right? We want everyone to do the assignment on time. Remember that it is very vital to do the assignment, right? It is very important to understand that only by solving our fundamental problems can we assure a smooth path to financial and future wealth. How many of you agree with me on this particular point? Write down if you agree, say yes in the chat box. Okay, so people are saying yes, Harsh, it is very important. Only by solving fundamental problems can we assure a smooth path to future wealth. People always focus on financial wealth or trading, sorry, technical trading and price behavior and indicator strategies predominantly, but the main focus has to be on the fundamental problems, right? So quickly before we continue for today's third live streaming session where we would be covering course number 2, let us quickly have a review in terms of what had been discussed yesterday. Are you ready? Okay, so what had we discussed yesterday? Let's quickly have a look. We had talked about how to increase. If you wanted to increase your assets by 10 times, would that align with your dreams? We all started, I informed about talking about initial intentions, right? How important it is to have initial intention, because only if your initial intention is clear, you can work towards converting it into reality. We had talked about trading logic, which were basically bifurcated into two segments, which is psychological learning and implementation based learning, right? So psychological learning is pertaining to the psychic, which is related to the mind, and how once you are mentally prepared, how you can follow people by just implementing the strategies that have already been proving successful, by replicating the strategies. That is what is called as implementation based learning, right? We had asked you questions in terms of making money. Why do you want to make money, and for whom you want to make money? So these questions should spark curiosity within yourself to know what is important for you. Is it financial wealth? Is it status? Is it reputation? Is it to have a comfortable and loving life for your family, friends? Everyone has different answers, and everyone should be clear about these two important questions, right? Very important. We had told yesterday that it is very important to write your goals and remember your initial intentions. All right, how many have written their goals, and how many will remember their initial intentions? Write down in the chat box. All right. Then we had told that for people who think that money is important and profits are very important when it comes to the markets, yes, profits are important, but most important is happiness and fulfillment, right? People get confused between the two. People think wealth and money are the end goals, but they are not the the main goals. Happiness and fulfillment are the main goals, right? We had talked about bullying, how people feel that they are being bullied in the financial markets, right? How many of you feel that you have been bullied in the financial markets? People are saying, yes, we have been bullied. So people think it's because of policy, institutions, main funds. One second. So people think it's because of policies, institutions, main funds. So people think they are being bullied, right? When it comes to the financial markets, but it might not necessarily be true, correct? So make sure that people are understanding. When people have been successful in other areas of life, why are they not being successful when it comes to the financial markets? Think about it, right? Sorry, just give me a second. My screen is turning off. 1 minute. Okay, so as I was talking about why it is important to understand that since many people are successful in other areas of their life, why are they not successful in the financial markets? We had talked a lot in detail, and the main issues that were lying in terms of people being unsuccessful when it comes to the financial markets. We had discussed four important points, right? Whether it was buying too hastily, selling too greedily, hesitating to cut losses, or holding too many stocks at the same time. We had discussed all the points in detail in yesterday's live session number 3. How many of you have understood what was discussed in yesterday's live stream session? Write down in the comment box and let me know. We had talked about the other aspect, which was whether it was about controlling our actions or fear or greed, because many people think these are the two reasons why people are unsuccessful when it comes to financial markets. But we had told that it is not those factors, but the main factor is our initial intention, and these are the points which had been discussed as of yesterday. I hope everyone has had a good understanding of what had been discussed yesterday. Now let's shift to the next session, right? Today we will be focusing on course number 2. Give me a minute. Let me just make sure that I can change my video capture. Sorry, my Windows capture. All right, a minute. All right, so let us start with today's Course number two. How many of you are ready for today's course number two? Write down in the comment box and let me know, what do you think we will be talking in course number two? How excited are you? Let me know all your comments, and I would love to know how my audience, how my live streaming members are ready for today's very informative and very vital information content that is going to be shared today. So we are going to be starting with today's course number two, right? It is going to basically be more detailed into trading logic, but understanding it from a in-depth perspective, right? So let us going to start with today's second live streaming session, right? Now, most importantly, people, when they think about the financial markets, they think about when they think about financial markets, they think about enemies, right? Because everyone who starts in the financial markets are coming with the aim of making money. But eventually, once people start trading, they observe that most of them are losing money, correct? If I'm right, let me know in the chat box and say, yes, Harsh, that is exactly what is happening, right? So enemies, do not get confused by the real meaning of enemies. What I'm talking is about enemies in the financial markets. We consider enemies of those people, of those institutions whom we think are responsible for us losing money in the financial markets, right? How many of you are agreeing with what I'm saying? We think that the enemies are having that we have in the financial markets are based on financial institution, big banks, right? FII. So everyone has, these thoughts in their mind when it comes to having enemies because of which people are losing money. Remember, we as human beings are very easily, we can easily put blame onto other people, right? Because we do not like to take responsibility on our own. So it's very easy to say that yes, it is because of a big bank, big institution, that we are facing huge losses in the financial market, right? But you have to understand that it is not exactly what you perceive to be. First and foremost, do you agree that there are enemies in the financial markets? If yes, write down in the chat box and let me know. And if no, answer me why. So you have to understand that when we consider institutions to be the ones that are responsible for us to lose money in the financial markets, it is not true. Most of the institutions are actually either at break even or are not making profits consistently, right? Let me repeat that sentence again. Most of the institutions in the financial markets are either at break even or are not making profits consistently, right? How many of you are understanding? You have to be very clear that when we are entering the markets, we ourselves have to be very clear about our strengths and weaknesses. Everyone who is attending this session, what do you mean by strengths and weaknesses? Let me know in the comment box by your answers. All right. So everyone is answering. Good. So what do you mean by strengths and weaknesses? How we can identify our strengths and how we can identify our weaknesses and make sure that our strengths are bigger than our weaknesses. Now, these are some important questions that we are going to be looking at, but most importantly, you have to understand that we as retail traders fall into the category of small to medium term investors, right? How many small to medium sized traders or investors? How many of you understand this? All right. So we, you, and everyone who is in the retail sector are considered to be small to medium sized traders. Now, how can we utilize our strengths in the financial markets, right? How can we utilize our strengths? What do you think? Some we will be asking questions. So first question is, what do you think is the biggest strength of small to medium sized traders? Do not worry if you're not sure about the answer, but please, if you have any, opinions, you can always write it down. We will come back to this question. If you think yes, write down, and if you do not know, it is fine. But I will be answering this question's answer a little later. Coming to the second question, do you think your losses are caused by these enemies? Right? We just recently talked about enemies such as banks, financial institutions, FII, the foreign institution investments. So, do you think your losses are caused by these enemies? Right. So people are saying yes, some people are saying no. So what do you think? What is your opinion on the second question? Do you think your losses are caused by these enemies? All right. So let me tell you the answer for this particular question, right? The answer lies in The answer is no. You really have to understand that losses are not because of the enemies that are in the financial markets, right? No one is responsible for the losses besides ourselves. We are the ones who are voluntarily making losses in the financial markets. You must be surprised to know this, but no one else but you is responsible for taking trades and losing money in the financial markets, because it is so easy to blame people or to blame someone else that it's because of them that we are losing money, that we fail to understand that our accountability to the financial markets is based on in our hands, right? So we are the ones who are responsible for our losses. We are voluntarily taking losses because of our mindset, right? And that is what we have to fix. How many of you are understanding? If yes, write in the chat box and let me know. All right, so now that we have come across this particular answer, remember the answer sounds surprising, but it is the reality, right? So, when I had asked you question number one, what do you think is the strength of small to medium sized traders? So many people had answered had given different opinions, but let me give you the answer. So it is the power of flexibility, correct? Now, how will I want to use the quote that small boats turn easily, right? Now, how can you understand by this quote? If you are looking at, for example, since I'm talking about this particular contrast of small boats turn easily, if you compare a small boat to an oil tanker or to a cruise ship like the Titanic, correct? So small boats have the flexibility to turn with the direction, right? They can easily turn, they can easily navigate the waters. Unlike the passenger ships like Titanic or the big ships like Maersk and Evergreen, remember those big ships? So they take a lot of time, they are not flexible. And this is the main strength that we as small to medium term traders can have advantage of, right? Our strength lies in the flexibility. Now what do you mean by flexibility, right? So small to medium term investors can, at first you have to understand that when in terms of flexibility, we can take trades, we can exit trades, but for a big institution, right, big banks, big hedge funds, for them it is not easily to just enter exit. Yes, they can accumulate positions and take prices higher, but it is not flexible for them to keep entering and keep exiting trades, right? How many of you are understanding? Let me know in the comment box. Because they have a vast amount of funds, correct? These banks, these hedge funds, these foreign institutional investors have large capitals. For them to manipulate and take positions every now and then by entering and exiting it is not possible for them, right? And that is why we have to use our strength to our advantage and make sure to utilize our strengths rather than lamenting about our weaknesses. Correct? If you agree with me, I want you to write in the comment box and say that yes, Harsh, it completely makes sense, right? So, in terms of small to medium sized investor or traders, they can participate in multiple hot stocks. Now, unlike a financial institution, they can make the prices move in a particular direction, right? They can accumulate positions and they can move the market, but they cannot keep entering in many hot stocks, right? We as in our viewers who are watching this live streaming session, they have the capability, they have the strength to enter into different stocks, right? And secondly, they are capable of taking trades when the markets are trending or are in wave formations, or when the markets are sideways, or when the markets are ranging. Correct? So how many people are understanding with what I am saying? You have to utilize your strengths, and this is how you can utilize your strengths when it comes to the small to medium term traders in the financial markets, participating in multiple hot stocks, and you can be capable of taking trades whether the markets are trending or the markets are going sideways. Correct? I hope people are understanding. All right, that is good. Very good. So, moving forward, that is why you have to understand that we small to medium term investors are quick when it comes to entering, exiting, and taking multiple trades. Medium to small term traders can take trades and are quicker when you compare to the financial institutions. The financial institutions take a lot of time, a lot of capital is required, which they possess, but they do not have the flexibility in terms of just taking trades and just closing trades. They have to build their portfolios, they have to build their positions, and it takes time, right? So I hope everyone is getting a clearer understanding how it is possible that we think that institutions are controlling the markets, they are our enemies, but in reality, if we are able to identify our strengths, whether it's in terms of flexibility of entering the trades, whether it's the flexibility in terms of taking more number of hot stocks, use these advantages, right? These are going to be very beneficial for us when compared to the foreign institutional, when compared to the institutions. How many of you are understanding what I'm saying? If you're understanding, go into the chat box and say and type it and say yes, Harsh, we understand what you are saying. Remember, when you're using stocks are just, when we're trading on stocks, trading stocks is just a form of a tool, correct? A form of a tool to make money. How many of you agree with what I'm saying? So we basically are just needing to know where to enter, where to add positions if required, where to reduce positions if required, and where to exit positions. Correct? It is as simple as that. Correct? And example for let me give you an example. So some of my friends who are around me know that I am an analyst, right? And they keep asking for recommendations. Harsh, what should I do? Should I buy this stock? Should I wait on the stock? Should I sell the stock? So many people, including my friends, keep asking for a lot of my hot stock recommendations, right? Sometimes I tell them to take a trade and they are fortunate enough to enter at a better price sometimes, and sometimes they make more profit than me, right? Now you have to understand that this is all based on probability, right? It is not always that this will happen, but sometimes it happens. They make more than what even I am supposed to make, because I am the one who's providing them with all the information in terms of recommendations, correct? So by following my you have to understand that many of my friends have tried this method and it works fine, right? I often discuss stocks with friends. By following this particular strategy that we have been mentioning, you have to understand that If you have been following my strategy, your returns could have been 120%, right? How many of you would love to make these kind of profits on your own trading accounts? If yes, go to the chat box and reply yes. I want to know your responses, correct? So many people are saying that, wow, Harsh, isn't it fantastic if we could also make such kind of returns? But on the other hand, I do have a lot of my friends who say that, but Harsh, I am only making 30%. And I'm like, why is that? So I asked them, why are you making only 30% when I can be providing you with much more higher returns? And the answer that they give is, the answer is they say that they are following other people as well. Now that is, that is something you have to be very careful about. Remember, if you're following too many people, you are getting a lot of opinions. And if you're getting a lot of opinions, you have to be aware that you will be facing, more bias when it comes to deciding which stock to buy, which stock not to buy. So that can result in losses. So rather than following so many people, because if you follow more number of people, the probability of you losing money will increase. So from one aspect, I'm mentioning that I am able to make and showcase my profitability, which is around 120%. But the same strategy that my friends are following, they are only making 30 because they are having losses. Why are they having losses? They are having losses because they are following other people and they are losing money. So it is very important to understand this and be very clear. If you trust an analyst, only follow their advice. Okay. Do not take this lightly. This can be the difference between making good profits in the markets versus losing money. How many of you want to make money in the markets? If you want to make good money in the financial markets, make sure that you are trusting the analyst and only following their advice. It is as simple as that. The more number of people you listen to, the more confusion will result in bigger losses. All right, understand that. It is very important. Okay. So, moving forward, we will be telling you, and we have been sharing our hot stock recommendations all throughout the last 3 months. We have been showcasing our profits. We have been showcasing how diligently and consistently we have been providing you with our hot stock recommendations, right? So all you have to do is follow our strategies. And if you have any doubts, any queries, all you have to do is get back to my assistant and they will be glad enough to provide you with all the required information. Does that sound good? If you are happy, if you are excited, and if you are understanding what I am saying about the financial markets, what I am talking about trading logic, write down in the comment box, type and say, yes, Harsh, we understand what you are saying. Now, moving forward, we will be talking about two major principles. How many of you are willing to learn today's two major principles? Comment in the chat box and let me know. So, first principle, to obtain something, you need to give something in return. Now, how many people understand with this particular principle? So let me tell you what it exactly means. So for you to make money in the financial markets, you need to study the markets, right? If you need to earn money, you have to work for it. There is nothing that is free when it comes to the real world. In order to achieve something, you have to work for it. So if you want to attain something, you got to put in the work. Now, if you want to be making money in the stock market, you need to study the stock market, right? We at Dolphin Markets, I, Harsh, will be making sure to provide you with all the required content that is necessary to make you successful, correct? When it comes to the financial markets. Do you agree with what I'm saying? If you agree, write down in the chat box and say, yes, Harsh, we agree. All right. And next, we will be talking about the second principle, right? Birds of a feather flock together. How many of you are understanding with this particular principle that I have just mentioned? Okay. So people are saying, yes, we have heard it. Some people are saying, no. Okay. So, what do you mean by birds of a feather flock together? If you want to be someone like Warren Buffett, you have to follow Warren Buffett's principles and routine, correct? In order to implement and replicate how he's become successful when it comes to investing. But if you want to take trades and make profits consistently, like the way I am doing, you have to follow my protocols, my instructions. It is as simple as that. Whatever you believe in following, you have to conduct that following as your own routine. So people who are into investing are following people like Warren Buffett, right? Following his strategies, following his mindset, following his initial intention, so on and so forth. But people who want to take trades consistently and who want to make profits consistently, like me, should be aware of following my protocols, right? My instruction, because I will be the one who will be providing you with the recommendations, with the analysis, and with the education, correct? How many of you are understanding the second principle? If you do understand, write down in the in the comment box and say that, yes, Harsh, we understand what you are saying. All right. Now, moving forward, I want to, if you want to make money, please make sure you have to be diligent and keep attending the live streaming sessions. This particular streaming session that we are currently having is very vital to understand. Many people enter the markets thinking that it is only about clicking trades and clicking for selecting random stocks and clicking on the button to buy sell, but that will not be beneficial for you. You have to follow people who have already achieved success in the financial markets and implement their strategies. It is very simple, and we had discussed all this in very much detail in yesterday's course number 1, correct? So make sure that people are understanding what I'm saying. All right, how many people have understood? If yes, write in the chat box that, yes, Harsh, what you are telling is very important and very vital for our trading success. If you believe that it is vital, write in the comment box and say, yes, Harsh, it is very important. So if you are following and implementing my instructions, that will be the starting for you, the start of a great life for you, because after that, all you will be doing is only making profits, right? I'm sure everyone who is attending in this particular live streaming session is just focusing on the main objective of making money. I have already proven myself again and again in the during the other live streaming sessions of how we are taking trades and how we are booking profits to earn we have a cumulative profitability of more than 237%, right? So if I'm able to do it and I've been able to achieve a net profitability of 120%, I am very sure that you can also do the same, provided you follow my instructions and take trades, right? That is how you can be making good amount of money, and you would not be bothered by being bullied in the financial markets or having any enemies, right? We talked about it. Whether it is being bullied in the markets, whether it is about thinking about having enemies in the market, everything will be dissolved, right? Because from that moment onwards, when you start following my instructions and when you keep attending my live streaming sessions, you will only be making good money, right? So how many of you are willing and are eager to make consistent profits? Who wants to make good money in the markets? Write down in the comment box and let me know, do you want to make good money in the markets? If yes, then I know what your answer should be, correct? Follow my instructions. It is as simple as that. Am I correct? Please write down in the comment box and let me know. It is very important that our conversations are taking place because interaction is very vital. The more I am able to ask you questions and the more I am able to get your response, the better I am able to understand the psychic of how people are looking at the financial markets. Remember, I have been in the financial markets for more than 8 years. If you have any of your HNI clients that you may be aware of, they all are aware of me, right? Because that is the power that I have showcased when it comes to the financial markets. I am providing you with the tools and the recommendations and any required information that can only make you successful. All you have to do is follow our instructions, implement the strategies, make sure your initial intentions are clear, and there should be no stopping for you to make good money when it comes to the financial markets, correct? So, how many of you are agreeing with me? If you are agreeing with me, then write and say, yes, Harsh. You can write whatever you want, but I want to know your response. How well are you able to understand what I'm saying? And if you have any doubts or if you have any queries, you can always write down in the chat box because then I can be aware about it and I can, address the issue and try and do my best in terms of resolving it. Am I correct? I hope everyone is understanding. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next question. And this question is very, very, very important. What do you think causes the stock price to rise, right? Again, let me repeat the question. What do you think causes the stock prices to rise? Anyone who would want to answer this particular question, any answers, write down in the comment box. Let me know. All right, so we are getting a lot of answers, and they are saying it could be because of price action, it could be because of supply and demand. Well, these factors are also important, right? Price action is important, supply demand is important, but there is another important factor. And what would that be? Any guesses? If you are aware of that answer, please let me know in the comment box. All right, so people are writing. Okay, we do not know. Okay, we know, not know. Okay, no problem. So the most important, objective is to understand about increasing buying and reducing selling. This is very, very, very important. All right, let me stress on this: increasing buying and reducing selling. Right, this is very important to understand because this will make or break your this can make you very successful or can make you very miserable when it comes to the financial markets, right? How many of you are understanding what I'm saying? Increasing buying and reducing selling. All right. Even the biggest traders, the brokers, or the hedge funds also rely on this same concept of increasing buying or reducing selling, right? So you will find that investors, traders, hedge funds have been. One second, there is some kind of issue coming in. One second. Okay, so since I was talking about this particular concept, you have to be aware that investors, traders, and even the brokerage researchers use the concept of increasing buying and reducing selling, right? So when people are trading, it is indeed that people feel confident when the buying increases and they feel that their greed gets under control if the selling decreases. This is something complex, but it is very vital for one's trading success in the financial markets. How many of you are agreeing with me this particular concept? Write down in the chat box and let me know your answers, right? So if I feel confident and greedy when buying increases and I control my greed when selling decreases, it is as simple as that, but very important information, correct? If I fail to do so, I will be repenting, correct, for not achieving it. So, moving forward, you have to understand that whenever you trade, you need to review your trades daily, right? Focusing more on the psychological improvement, such as understanding why you are feeling fearful or why are you feeling greedy in the in the market, because it is very important to understand. All of us who enter the financial markets are entering with only the objective of making money, correct? Am I right? Because you have to understand, since everyone is entering into the markets for making money, see, making money is not an issue when it comes to the financial markets. It is all about the psychological impact that one has once they enter the markets. Like we had discussed in course number one, when it comes to initial intentions, people aspire, their aspirations change. They might start with a particular aspiration in mind, but as it how time flies by, and once they start suffering losses, their aspirations flip. What they had expected in the markets are completely out of what they had imagined, right? It is out of their imagination, so they're losing. They just want to come back to break even. There is they consider themselves to be bullied in the markets. They consider themselves to have enemies in the markets, but at the end it is nothing to do with those concepts. It is all to do with your mindset, right? If your initial intentions and your mindset is clear, you need to start taking responsibility. You have to identify how the big players are, achieving success, how other traders are achieving success, how Harsh is able to achieve such phenomenal success by providing, where to enter, where to close trades, where to add trades, where to reduce trades. Because if Harsh can do it, so can every one of you. Once you understand that yes, there are people like Harsh, or who can do so well when it comes to the markets, all you have to do is follow their footsteps, right? We had talked about the main quote, which was birds that fly together, right? Birds of a feather flock together. If you want to have the same results, you need to follow their routines, you need to follow their instructions. It is as simple as that. How many of you are understanding what I have said right now, right? It is very crucial, because this can make you very profitable in the markets if you follow. And if you do not follow, there is no other choice but to lose money, right? How many of you want to lose money in the markets, right? No one wants to lose money when it comes to the financial markets. Everyone wants to make money, and it is possible to make money in the markets just by following my instructions. So make sure to keep attending all my live streaming sessions. Whenever we are having the first two live streaming sessions, when the Indian stock market is open, always make sure to be attentive. Whenever a hot stock is recommended, make sure to take the trades, because if you don't take the trade, no one else can take the trade on your behalf. Only you can determine your destiny, and your destiny lies in your hands, correct? So you are the captain of your ship, and you can make money, because we are providing you with all the necessary information, right? All the other competitors out there are only focusing on how to make you take, you know how to just provide you services. We at Dolphin Markets are not just providing you with forex brokerage services, but we are providing you with high value content, right? And today's third live streaming session has been an eye opener for many, correct? Am I correct? Today's third session has been very vital, because people need to understand that it's not just about basic price action or price behavior or indicator strategies. First it starts with the mind, and once your mind has been, constructed positively, then you can be clear that yes, first and foremost, I am clear in terms of making money. I have to make money, and I will do whatever it takes to make the money. And then once you're aware of this particular mindset, then you just need to follow our instructions, because we have been proving it for the last 3 months that yes, it is possible to make money in the financial markets, and it is possible to make money consistently, correct? How many of you are agreeing with what I have said? If yes, write down in the chat box and let me know. I hope everyone has had a good understanding. Let me just quickly have a good review of what the entire discussion has taken place for today, right? I will just cover up all the points in a very brief manner so that everyone is aware. Or whoever has entered late, make sure to watch the entire recording again because it is very important. Don't be in a hurry to just jump and take trades by clicking the button and entering position. That is not feasible. You will be losing. Follow our recommendations. Take the opportunities that we are providing and make the most benefit out of it. Correct? So, we had talked about how it is important for people to keep adjusting and being aware of their initial intentions, right? If their initial intentions are clear, only then, and initial intentions as well as the psychological factors, right? Mindset, behavior, attitude, all these are fundamental problems that are required, right? And that can assure you the path to achieving future wealth. So very important to understand. Then we had talked about enemies in the financial markets, how enemies are, constructed out of thin air. There is no such term as enemy when it comes to the financial markets. We are putting the blame on someone else because we are not capable in our own, and we are not capable in our own actions, to prove that we can make money. It is possible to make money, but because people are losing money in the markets, they blame it and they say that it is the enemies in the market, such as banks, institution, foreign investment institutions, who are the enemies. But when in reality there are no enemies, right? So when we were talking about entering the markets, we as small to medium term traders should be aware what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are, correct? We had talked about those two important questions. Who do you think is the biggest strength? What do you think is the biggest strength of small to medium term traders, and do you think your losses are caused by these enemies? So we had mentioned that if you're thinking that the losses are because of the enemies, we had mentioned it clearly that not at all. Losses are not a part of are not caused because of enemies. Losses are a result of our own actions. We are voluntarily losing money when it comes to the financial markets, correct? And in terms of answering the first question, which was, do you think it is, what do you think is the biggest strength of the small to medium term traders? And the answer has been, and this is a very crucial point, right? It is the flexibility. I have given you the annotation of how we consider small boats, how they can easily navigate the waters, while the big banks and institutions are tankers, right? Oil tankers, passenger ships. They take a lot of time. Yes, they have a lot of capital, but they do not have the flexibility, correct? So we had discussed the strengths when it comes to small to medium term traders, whether that is in terms of taking multiple hot stocks, or whether they can trade, whether the markets are trending, whether the markets are ranging. We can quickly enter based on our flexibility and see and take trades more consistently, correct? And we said that we are much quicker because of the flexibility that we have as our strength. We are able to be more flexible in the financial markets, correct? We had talked about how such magnificent returns that Harsh has been able to make, you can be making it too. But there are people out there who are even following my strategies but are still losing money. And we had discussed why they are losing money. They are losing money because they are following other analysts, other people too. When you follow too many people, you will have more trades, more confusion, not knowing what is right and what is wrong. And that is why you would be losing much more money. So rather than making 120% based on what I have been telling them, they are only able to make 30%. So if they would just follow my instructions, they could be sitting at a similar profitability. Do you agree with me, right? Remember, this is just a quick summary of what we have been discussing. throughout the entire content, right? You need to trust your analyst and you only need to follow their advice. It is as simple as that. Okay, we talked about certain principles where two major principles had been talked about, right? To obtain something, you need to give something in return. Nothing in life comes for free. You have to work towards achieving what you want. If you want to attain something, you have to give something, correct? So if you want to make money in the financial markets, you have to study the markets, correct? And birds of a feather flock together. With different mentalities or different personas, you have to identify what exactly do you want to pursue. If you want to be like Warren Buffett, you will have to follow Warren Buffett. But if you want to follow Harsh's recommendations, because Harsh is being able to achieve 120% profitability, so you should be following my instructions as well, correct? Then we talked about the main question of what do you think causes the stock price to rise. People were very confused about this particular question because people thought it was mainly because of price behavior or maybe because of supply demand. Yes, there are factors as well, but there is something which is much more important and influential, correct? And that had been increasing buying and reducing selling. So we had talked in detail about this particular concept, and this is very, very, very important, right? I hope everyone is understanding that this is a very important concept that was discussed. And very important, whenever you take a trade, you need to review it on a daily basis, focusing more on the psychological improvement, right? Not just running behind taking trades, but first focusing on the psychological improvement, like such as understanding why you're feeling fearful or why are you getting greedy in the financial markets. Because if you cannot understand this particular context, moving forward it will not be possible for you to make money in the market. Because if your psychological behavior has to be understood and has to be rectified, remember, if there are any challenges that you are facing, only you can overcome it. So make sure you are taking responsibility, you are taking accountability, and just follow our hot stock recommendations, right? If Harsh can achieve a net profit of 120%, you can achieve the same, correct? So how many of you have understood today's live streaming session? It has been very wonderful for people who have been with me throughout the journey of this particular live streaming session, because I have spent a lot of energy and a lot of importance on first and foremost making sure everyone understands why it is important to have the right mindset, why your initial intentions are important, how you can be clear in terms of what you want to achieve in life, right? So, yesterday's and today's third live streaming sessions have been very crucial when it comes to providing you with very major psychological concepts, right? These psychological concepts, which are pertaining to trading logic, will definitely change your outlook when it comes to the financial markets. Remember, let me repeat it, it's not just about taking trades, it's about understanding your psychological abilities of why you are having fear and why you are becoming greedy when it comes to the markets. Maybe your actions in the past have led you to make significant losses, how you can rectify those losses, right? We talked everything in detail, and we want everyone to be a part of Dolphin Markets. We want you to be a part of Harsh's live stream sessions. That is where we would be providing you with analysis, hot stock recommendations, right? 120% net profit has been achieved. If Harsh can achieve it, so can you. So I hope everyone had a great understanding, had a great learning experience for this particular live stream session. I'm very sure everyone has, will be having a different mindset after looking at these video sessions. Make sure you keep watching this live stream session again and again. The more number of times you watch it, the better you will be clear, right? In terms of attaining and gaining more knowledge, right? So I hope everyone has had good amount of understanding, and I hope everyone has found it impactful, right? I just want to make sure that I'm providing you with high value content, and I feel personally that I am providing you with it. So everyone who thinks that they have had a great understanding and who have learned something new, write down in the chat box and let me know that yes, Harsh, we have done, you have provided us with good information. All right. So let us conclude this third live streaming session. I wish everyone a very happy weekend, today being Friday. I wish everyone has a great learning session, a great relaxation session. Go spend time with your friends, family members. Make sure to keep watching these videos because these live streaming sessions will change your perspective about the financial markets and will keep making you richer when it comes to the financial markets. So make sure you're attending my first live streaming session that will be taking place on Monday. And until then, happy weekends and happy evenings. Until then, bye bye. Namaste and take care. See ya.